look out towards the distance, out towards over the ocean, out towards the water here, into the Bismarck Straits. You have a number of icebergs on the horizon, some of them about 20, 30 miles away. You can see them from here. And they're really huge, as you notice. Probably only 1/10 of the iceberg sticks out of water, and some of these icebergs get up to about 120 feet in height. So you've got 9 times that size below water. And we've got quite a few penguins around here. We have some penguin rookeries over in the distance on the island there. I spotted a leopard seal on the one of the bergy bits out in the bay over here on our right. We have a small bay harbor rather called Arthur Harbor, and it's quite a beautiful thing down here actually to see this, and quite the experience. W2PVF, this is KC4Alpha Charlie. Over to you, Jim.
Okay, Pete, fine. KC4AAC W2PVF. Absolutely 100% copy. Just beautiful. Unusual to be as solid as what it is tonight. And real interesting comments you had to make there. I can imagine with when you do have time on your hands that you can do a lot of thinking about things that you never had time for up here. And I guess that sort of helps a person become a little bit philosophy-minded. But you do raise an unusual question when you wonder what law would apply in a country like that in the event a crime were committed. I suppose there is a designation of boundaries assigned to each country. I think they sort of cut it up into sectors down there, and maybe the country responsible for that particular sector would be the one that would apply its laws. But on the other hand, I don't know whether it would be a colony or dependency or just what. I'm sure when the need arises, we'll have a whole cluster of lawyers to decide what the administration of law is to be. But I've never heard anyone raise this question before. It certainly sounds like something unique. The case we're on is interesting because much of it has to be done through an interpreter, and that slows things down, and I think tends to make people a little bit more precise in what they say. So I really think, as you suggest, that it is an experience that every American ought to have in his life. I think it's an experience that would be good for almost anybody. I've been on grand jury before, but this is my first experience with the petit jury. The grand jury, of course, just makes indictments on a general basis. But the petit jury, of course, gets right into the nitty-gritty, and you have to make the decision. So this is my third case on this one, and I'm finding it really very interesting. I hear about the ice and the glaciers and the penguins there, and it really starts your imagination going. I saw the Jacques Cousteau film 2 or 3 weeks ago. He took his boat, the Gypsy, I guess it was, down to Deception Island, and they filmed quite a few things there, and then tied up alongside some icebergs and showed them swimming underwater underneath the icebergs, and that was rather spine-chilling. But it gave us a wonderful idea of what things look like. So my imagination is helped a lot by having seen that, and as you were describing things, that it really made it easy to understand from my standpoint. I I have worked the British and the Argentine stations there, as well as I guess most or all of the American Antarctic stations. It's almost getting crowded there, but I guess there's still quite a bit of Lebensraum in between your bases. Well, the big thing up here, of course, is energy problems, and there's much talk, and don't really see too much of a problem yet. I think maybe the estimates have been a little bit on the generous side. That is the estimate of need, and maybe the shortage isn't going to be quite as keen as it appeared to be. Here on the East Coast, I would have to say we're having a milder winter than usual. The degree days are definitely down from last year. But this, of course, is not true in the middle of the country, and probably not on the West Coast. So it may be that the fuel shortage will be less on the East Coast, but more severe in the middle of the country. But it's still a little bit early. But the steps have been put into effect to sort of cut down on the usage is helpful. The electric power companies have decreased their demands somewhat. Not startlingly, but I think enough to sort of take the edge off the shortage. So I'm rather encouraged that it might not be too severe, although it's certainly going to have its effect. Maybe by the time you get back here, we'll have had the spigots turned on again over there in the Mid-East and be getting back to normal. You didn't tell me, I think we sort of took time out for the patch, you didn't tell me whether you were able to see the comet from that latitude, Peter. I rather guess that you're not able to see it, or either it's out of the field of view, or else it may be so weak that it can't be seen now. But up here it's just about invisible from what I can make out. So it must be the biggest celestial disappointment of the year. Back to you, Peter. W2PVF to KC4AAC.
W2PVF, this is KC4Alpha for Charlie. In regards to that question, the comet was not seen down here at all. Wasn't seen at all. I believe, do you have any copy Ecuador? The daylight condition.
I do copy Ecuador. Will you stand by, please?
Roger. But according to information that you passed on, that it was quite a disappointment up in the northern hemisphere there, up towards your latitude, and it didn't come through at all, which is kind of a shame. They supposedly claim that was supposed to be the comet of the century, even brighter than the Aries comet, and I believe that's coming around in another 3 years or so. I'm not sure. I think it's 1975. I might be wrong on that. But I guess that's the classical thing that everybody looks forward to. But it's kind of a shame that the other comet didn't get through at all. But I was looking for it down here in the southwest sky, and supposedly where it was supposed to be, but absolutely nothing. We do pick up the moon here. I saw it today, as a matter of fact, twice. And you can even see that during the daytime. It comes in pretty clear down here. During the dusk condition, if it's not cloudy, it's extremely bright. It's really impressive. But even during the daytime, a good clear sky, you can see the moon. I anticipated seeing, if the comet was that bright, seeing that. But absolutely nothing there. Otherwise, all astral observations are very limited down here. During the winter, they have a tremendous opportunity to look at the sky, go into the 24 hours of darkness. They don't have total darkness at this latitude of Antarctica. They do have daylight for, I would guess, maybe a few hours at the most. And they have plenty of a night sky to look at then. You don't see the same constellations down here as you do up back home. One of the predominant constellations down here would be the Southern Cross. And it's kind of a completely different sky. Spend hours looking at the sky and trying to find the different constellations. I used to remember many a night in New Jersey, I used to walk around at night up in the area around Jackson, New Jersey. I spent a little time there, and on a nice clear night, you could just literally millions of stars, really bright, very impressive. And I guess that's something I really do miss, being able to see a night sky down here. But there's always plenty of time for that. But I wanted to ask you, let's see, 2:30 Zulu, now with daylight saving time and all, that would put you at 10:30 your time, local time there in New Jersey. Is that a Roger, Jim? Over?
Yes, that's a Roger, Pete, and it's convenient, comfortable for me, and by that time I think the band is always settled down, and you know what it's going to do. You either got it or you haven't got it by then. Okay, on the comet, I had sort of overlooked the fact that it is daylight now, and it's certainly too dim to see in daylight hours. We can't even see it in the night hours. I have seen the moon in daylight, as you will be seeing it now, and it sort of has a ghost-like appearance to it when you see it in daytime. I've seen the Southern Cross. I was down in New Zealand and in Australia a few years ago, and I agree with you. It sort of shakes you up when you look in the sky, and the constellations are so different. Up here, you look for the dippers, and that's about it. Down there, you see the Southern Cross, and it's quite a different-looking sky. Of course, I guess a lot of people don't bother looking at it, but I do, especially when you're aboard ship and it's clear, and the stars look so close you can reach up and touch them, just the way I do it here in Jackson, New Jersey. I have a map here, the likes of which you may never have seen. It's about 2 feet by 3 feet, and it has a belt about 18 inches wide that moves behind the glass front. The thing looks like a picture and hangs on the wall. And on this mylar belt is the map of the world printed. There must be several of them because it rotates from left to right at the speed of a clock. But the amazing thing about it is that projected on here from the back is light showing the part of the world that is illuminated at that moment. And it's constantly changing as the portion of the world is illuminated. It has an analog computer in it. It's really unbelievable. I can sit here and tell you that the island of Adak up in the Aleutian Islands is still in late afternoon sunlight, but on Alaska or Dutch Harbor, just to the east, they have already passed sunset and it's in the twilight. At this time of year, it shows the southern hemisphere with almost around-the-clock daylight, and the Arctic completely dark. It is high noon now in Broome, Australia, and Johannesburg is just dawn, and it's so clear. You just look at this thing, and there it is. There is this line of light and dark, which represents dawn, and the one for sunset. And it's slowly moving across here, and Actually, the shape of the curve of light is a bell curve, the shape of a bell. On April 21st and September 21st, they're just two straight lines, so it becomes a rectangle. On June 21st, it becomes an upside-down bell, so that you get the dark portion and the north gets the light. It's a beautiful thing. It's made out in California. In addition to the map, it has a dial showing the month, and the day of the month automatically sets itself. There's labels on it telling you the day of the week, and it gives you all time zones simultaneously, including Zulu, and another separate dial showing the minutes. It's a fantastic thing, and I look at it here, it looks as though I'm looking through a window, sitting up on Astrolab or Skylab or something, looking down at the Earth and seeing what part of it is lighted by the sun. No, I'm not agent for the things. I'm not selling them. I just thought I'd tell you about it, Pete. It's really quite a thing. And the 10:30 hour on Wednesday, the 23rd, is okay with me. That actually will be, if it's 0230 Zulu, will be the 24th. But it will be Wednesday as far as our local time is concerned. So back to you, Peter. W2PVF to KC4AAD.
W2PVF is KC4 Charlie. It sounds really fun, Jim. The clock is really impressive. That's something I'd really like to have the opportunity to see. Sounds really all right. Right now I'm kind of lapping over into somebody else's time. Gil here came in, and he's got a schedule, I believe, with W2 United Yankee Tango, so I don't want to hold him up. And so I'll sign off for now. So we'll be on the air and talking next week then at this same frequency, and at 10:30 your time there, 2:30 Zulu. So that sounds really good. And if I can't raise you at 274, I'll be a few KCs within that area, because it's possible that I might have a Palmer+Station on or something that I might not get through. But usually we don't have any problems right around this part of the band. So very fine. I'll be speaking to you next week, and I'll let Gil get on the radio here, try to make this contact. So I'll bid you 73 from now, Jim, and thanks a lot for that patch. It was a really good patch. Really appreciate it, and be talking to you then next week. This is KC4 Alpha Charlie speaking W2PVF, over clear and standing by for final transmission there, over.
Okay, fine, Pete, fine. And we'll get off quickly so you can go ahead with the schedule. I have taken some color pictures of the map, and next week you can tell me where you want me to mail a couple of them, and I'll see that you get them, because it's the only way you can visualize what the map looks like. So we'll see you next Wednesday at the time and frequency we agreed to, and hope conditions are as good as they are tonight. It's just been a beautiful, beautiful QSO up here, Peter, and I really thank you for it. So take care and all the best to you. And 73s, W2PVF, off and clear with KC4AAC.
Okay, good night, Jim.